Welcome back. In this video, we'll be diving deep into the most exciting tech trends of 2024. From groundbreaking breakthroughs to mind-boggling advancements, these trends are poised to revolutionize the way we live, work, and interact. So, grab your favorite snack and get ready to be amazed by the incredible possibilities that lie ahead. In today's video, we'll be unraveling the top 7 technology trends that are set to reshape our world in 2024. 3D printing. One of the most fascinating technological advancements of our time is 3D printing, also known as additive manufacturing. This groundbreaking technology has opened a world of possibilities by enabling the creation of three-dimensional objects from digital designs. So, let's dive into the world of 3D printing and explore some of its incredible uses. Prototyping and product development. Manufacturing and customization. Art, design, and fashion. Medical and healthcare. Imagine a world where broken bones can be healed with the help of a 3D printer. Well, that future is closer than you might think.
So there's this problem, it's called back pain. You've probably heard of it. A large part of back pain is contributed by degenerative disc disease. There are treatments being developed at the moment to reverse this process within the tissue engineering field. These regenerative treatments that are being developed usually take place via stem cell treatments. Another way that these treatments are supplemented is through the use of a scaffold, which is pretty much a lattice, a very small lattice that is made of some kind of biomaterial, which is also put into the spine alongside the stem cells. And that is supposed to act as a support structure for the disc. But these processes in general are very invasive to the point where, since the disc is already highly compromised structurally, these regenerative treatments actually initially add a lot more structural compromises to the disc, meaning that it can be very sensitive to loadings, and that can actually cause problems for the regeneration process taking place. So what I set out to do is to assist with these regenerative treatments to help increase the likelihood of their success. So what I proposed to design was a dynamic splint, which was to act similarly to how a cast would act on a broken limb. This splint was supposed to assist with these regenerative treatments during their early stages by reducing stresses inside the disc and loadings on the disc so that the chance for successful regeneration was maximized. So to actually generate a solution, the main thing I had to do was obtain my own experimental data, but also obtain experimental data from literature. Because what I attempted to create was a simulation of the splint on the spine. So what I first needed to do was to brainstorm some potential designs for the splint. And then from there, I had to create a simulation of a spine in ANSYS without the splint on it. From there, I was able to create my splint designs and then finally able to 3D print those designs and perform mechanical testing on those designs to understand their mechanical behavior. So the outcome of the project was I was able to design a splint, and that splint was able to reduce the loadings on the disc. And that was a really exciting outcome for me. This made me feel very passionate about taking this project further, and now I would like to do a PhD to further develop this device and potentially bring it closer to a clinical trial.
There are a lot of really interesting use cases being explored with blockchain right now. When you first get into blockchain, one of the areas you'll see people immediately jump to are healthcare. How can we manage our personal health information on the blockchain? And voting and election reform. And both of these are really, really interesting ideas. The goal behind the folks looking at blockchain for healthcare is the idea that it would be great if your medical records could be accessible with your permission to anyone else anywhere on the planet. So if you're halfway across the world on vacation and you fall ill and end up in a hospital, wouldn't it be great if the doctor treating you had full insight into your medical records, knew any allergies you had, or knew any prescriptions that you were already on? So that's a very, very big area, and this ties a lot into blockchain and identity management. How do we safely identify and protect people's personal data on blockchain? So a lot of interesting challenges there that are being worked out. Blockchain for voting and election reform is a big topic right now. Especially with all the conversation lately about how do we ensure the integrity of elections and demonstrate that our results haven't been tampered with or altered. This is an area where blockchain could add a lot of value. And then of course we hear a lot about traditional use cases, areas that are getting a lot of traction in blockchain right now. Probably one of the biggest are supply chain, value chain relationships, which are very, very common in today's economy. We have very, very few products or services that are offered completely and solely by one organization without the involvement of other vendors, partners, suppliers, manufacturers, third-party organizations, etc. So blockchain to track the supply, the origin of the goods and services that we consume is a big use case. Walmart is really pioneering this right now with a blockchain solution that they're using to identify the provenance of meat. Where does the meat that is sold in a Walmart store come from? And the ultimate goal here is that when we do have contaminated foods and we have to issue a recall, currently because we just don't have good insight into that supply chain, we recall and destroy a lot more food than we really need to, which is tremendously wasteful, especially with all the people on the planet that we could be giving that good food to. So these are some real exciting areas that we see being pursued in blockchain right now. On the public sector, there's a lot of interest in blockchain for law enforcement purposes. How do we allow different law enforcement agencies at the federal, state, county, city level all to share data seamlessly in a safe, secure fashion, which also protects people's personal privacy and anonymity when appropriate. Another area where blockchain is getting explored and is generating a lot of excitement is with artists, with people who produce content. So if you're an author, if you're a musician, if you're an artist, traditionally you've only been able to get your work out to the public, in the hands of the public, by going through a third-party intermediary. So if I'm an author, traditionally the only way I've been able to share my creation with the general public has been going to a publishing company and getting my works published. Blockchain enables lots of interesting scenarios where I can sell that work directly to consumers, create new subscription models, and this is having very interesting effects on the work itself. One of the things we're seeing is that traditional book publishing, there's anywhere between a 12 to 18 month delay between when the author finishes the last word of a book and when it actually ends up in a consumer's hands. Well, if we can use blockchain to enable consumers to purchase this material or subscribe directly to the content creator, we take that lag time completely out of it. And this allows authors and content creators to do some really interesting things. You could write a fictional story and have one of your characters respond real time to a news story that actually happened last week. It makes for very compelling reading, and it's just something we're not able to do today in the traditional publishing world because of that delay. We also see a lot of interest in blockchain for fractional asset ownership scenarios. So we know we're 10, 15 years away from having self-driving cars be a very regular thing. And when we all get our own self-driving car, if we're smart, we're going to have that car take us to work and then turn around and perform ride-sharing services throughout the day when we're not using it in order to recoup some of that investment. Well, in a blockchain world with coins and tokens, we can fractionalize that asset ownership, and I could take that same money I used to buy one self-driving car which operates in one city, and I could buy 1% of 100 self-driving cars in the 100 biggest cities in the planet. And so if there are ever weather conditions where maybe my car couldn't operate locally, that's okay. I have a much more diversified investment which continues to offer returns because I have a virtual guarantee that any major city that I have 1% of my car ownership in is currently in rush hour right now and peak times of people needing a ride. So there are lots of very interesting use cases for blockchain in the real world right now. I would encourage all of you to dig in a little bit more and see some of the interesting things that are going on with blockchain in healthcare, in public sector, in insurance, in supply chain, value chain, and more. See what other folks are doing and then go out and make your own blockchain dreams a reality.
Artificial intelligence.
What exactly is artificial intelligence? We speak of AI when computer systems perform tasks that usually require human intelligence. This includes, for example, recognizing images, making decisions, or engaging in dialogue. To do this, the AI systems must be equipped with knowledge and experience. This can be achieved in two ways. You can program each individual instruction so that the machine solves the task step by step. This is comparable to a cooking recipe or assembly instructions. Alternatively, you can use programs that learn from data themselves. This enables them to detect relevant information, draw conclusions, or make predictions. This is known as machine learning. We all have probably dealt with AI at some point in our lives. When we watch films, listen to music, or shop online, AI gives us recommendations about what we might like. AI is capable of converting spoken language into text and translating it into other languages. AI is a central component of robotics. Robots make our everyday lives easier or take on strenuous activities. Self-driving vehicles recognize their environment through AI and can react to it. AI is becoming increasingly important within medicine. It supports doctors when diagnosing diseases. Also, more and more patients use AI-based apps for initial diagnosis. In the educational sector, AI helps to individualize learning activities, for example, on digital learning platforms. AI is becoming increasingly important. Once we understand how AI works, we can better gauge where it can support everyday activities at home and at work, and where we would rather make our own decisions. AI will not replace humans, but it is getting better and better at supporting us. For this, we need an AI-competent society.
Internet of Things IoT.
What do an umbrella, a shark, a houseplant, the brake pads in a mining truck, and a smoke detector have in common? They can all be connected online, and in fact they are. By 2022, it is expected that more than 1 trillion sensors will be connected to the internet. If all things are connected, it will shift the way we do business and use resources, and will eventually yield massive amounts of data. But who owns this data, and how safely will it be kept? By 2020, around 22% of the world's cars will be connected to the internet. That's 290 million vehicles. And by 2024, more than 50% of home internet traffic will be used by appliances and devices, rather than just for communication and entertainment. In this scenario, what if your car or your home got hacked? The Internet of Things raises huge questions on privacy and security that have to be addressed by governments, corporations, and consumers. But if we get things right, it will also bring unprecedented efficiency to processes that will no longer be offline. Imagine cows in a farm being monitored to obtain health reports that will help farmers feed them better, or tracking the behavior of complex industrial machinery, preventing accidents and shortening downtime for maintenance. All kinds of devices will be able to gather and share any type of information from their environment, seamlessly organizing themselves to make our lives smarter and safer. A world where all things are connected is going to bring endless opportunities for most human activities. But it will depend on us whether we are going to take advantage of it or let it take advantage of us. Will data be collected, shared, and stored to improve our lives, or will it be used to control us?
Robotics process automation RPA.
Many companies out there are struggling with a high volume of manual and repetitive tasks. Not only are they time-consuming, but often provide little or no value. It is inefficient and frustrating. Meet RPA, or robotic process automation. Unlike the physical robot, RPA is a software on a computer that mimics the work a human does, step by step, click by click. RPA captures and interprets existing applications for processing a transaction, manipulating data, triggering responses, and communicating with other digital systems. For tasks that are streamlined, high volume, and reoccurring, RPA is a great solution. A process automation can be launched into production within just a few weeks, allowing businesses to immediately reap the benefits. RPA does the heavy lifting. Time-consuming tasks such as compiling Excels will be many times faster with the help of RPA solutions. 1 minute of work for the robot is equal to 15 minutes of work for a person. RPA is designed to automate business processes in an efficient and secure way. It replicates the human workflow and moves seamlessly. RPA reduces costs, increases accuracy, and works a lot faster than any human is capable of. But the human will still come out on top. Employees will be able to spend more time on human interaction, strategic work, and adding value to their customers. Start your RPA journey today.
5G technology. 5G, or the fifth generation of wireless technology, is the latest advancement in mobile telecommunications systems. It is designed to provide significantly faster data speeds, lower latency, and increased network capacity compared to its predecessor, 4G LTE. 5G aims to revolutionize various industries and enable new applications and services that were previously unimaginable.